The solar industry has never been bigger than it is today. There's 5 million residential solar installations in the United States. And just for context, it took 40 years to reach 1 million residential solar installs from the first time a residential system was installed way back in 1973. It took 40 years for 1 million installs to take place nationwide, and only 8 years to literally get to 5 million residential installs. Why you should care about these things? Because when you're thinking about changing a career, or when you're thinking about what industry to put your effort, energy, and focus in, you want to make sure that the industry is on an upward spiral, so that you're not only wasting your time in an industry that's soon to be dead, like the newspapers, for example, but also you get to ride the wave and make a ton of money along the way. Now, the 5 million installs nationwide represent about 6 to 7% of the entire single-family homes in America. And the agenda is that they want us to get to at least 15%, which is double the amount. In my opinion, that's going to be even more than double the amount. It's probably going to triple by year 2030 with all the incentives that we have in place, like the Inflation Reduction Act, all the incentives such as state and federal incentives. Even if it only doubles, that's 6 years apart. Right now, we're in 2024 and 2030 just around the corner. 7% to 15% at minimum, because that's the government's agenda. And if the numbers work out, the 5 million to represent 6 to 7% of the current market right now, then that means there's an additional 5 million installs that will take place at minimum from now until year 2030. But what does it mean to you exactly? It means that if you get in the industry now, rather than in 2 or 3 years, you get to actually capitalize on an immense opportunity. And because solar is becoming more and more mainstream, a lot of homeowners are getting accustomed to the fact that at one point or another, they're gonna have to have solar on their roof rather sooner than later. And with the massive inflation that is happening around the world, and especially in America, homeowners are actually saving a ton of money by switching to solar. Now, if you combine the inflation, the state and federal incentives that the government offers for people to go solar, and the fact that people are genuinely struggling, and the idea of going solar is becoming more and more popular and mainstream, that's a combination that's going to allow everybody that decides to join the industry to win at a massive level and very, very easily. Not to forget the fact that solar is still unregulated, which means that you don't actually have to obtain any license in order to educate homeowners and sell solar in any state around the country. There's some states that are exceptions to the rule that you need to have what we call an HIS license, or a home improvement sales license. But the majority of the states, which is about 45 states at this point, you don't have to have a license to sell solar. And this is especially good if you're selling solar remotely and building a team, which is what we do. And by the way, if you want to learn how to make passive income using the remote dealer system that we can implement for you, then check out the first link in the description below. You got to fill out the form, watch the video that's going to tell you all about the business model, and we'll look forward to helping you in this endeavor. Now, if you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.